For us, it's a daily thing.
It's every day, right?
This is Mammoth Daily
We're going to take you inside the locker room
with Mike Fulta.
We want this show to be about the fans, and we want this show to be driven by our Utah Mammoth community.
And Adrian Denny.
Fans can submit what they want to hear us talk about, what they want to hear Utah weigh in on. It's all going to be here.
Here's Mike and AD with you.
Utahns, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Right here on Mammoth Daily.
Hey, everybody, welcome on in. Mammoth Daily, Adrian Denny with you. Mike will be along coming up in just a few moments with his morning after. Thanks for joining us after the Mammoth beat the Detroit Red Wings 4-1. They led for the final 59 minutes of the contest as they'll go into that Olympic break in that first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, regardless of what happens tonight around the National Hockey League. I thought it was a businesslike performance for the Mammoth in just about every area, starting less than a minute into the contest when Sean Durzi gave the team a 1-0 lead that they would hold for the final 59 minutes and 3 seconds of the contest. Now, that's the way to get a businesslike performance going. They wanted to go into the break with a win. It wasn't going to be a half day or anything, not a casual Friday. This was a 9 to 5 work day for the Mammoth with a half-hour lunch, and they wanted to leave on top. And they didn't want to talk about the break. You could tell head coach Andre Churnney, first thing on Wednesday morning, saying, you know what? Tonight's our only focus. We want to win tonight. When asked about how do you want to go into the break, what would it mean to get a win going into the break? He just wanted to talk about winning the day, and everything else would come after. Barrett Hayton asked about his Olympic break plans. Same answer. Just wanted to talk about the game. You've got 3 weeks between games. They wanted to get to 9:45, 10 o'clock with a win, and they did it. They were businesslike. They showed up 10 minutes early. They worked through their lunch hour, and they got to the holiday. You know how it is. And go out on top. You want to close that last deal. Make that last sales call. Finish that bathroom you're remodeling. Whatever your profession is, right? Get the job done. Do it right. Enjoy the break. Feeling good about what you're going to be coming back to when you return. And I think the Mammoth are. More on the businesslike performance. I've got lots to cover. We'll hear from head coach Andre Churnney, Karel Vejmelka, Gunther. I'll give you some more thoughts on what got the Mammoth into a good spot here the last two nights. What did they do that was good? And what can we look forward to coming out of the break? But first, we got to get to Mike's morning after here on Mammoth Daily.
Walking out of Delta Center victorious here on Mike's morning after. A little chilly Wednesday evening here in Salt Lake City. This feels a little bit more like winter, but a win for the Mammoth, 4-1 over a really good Red Wings team to end kind of this segment of the season before the Olympic break. And I thought tonight, kind of the number one thing I thought of was how important it was to score early in this game. The Red Wings, and this is a point we didn't have to bring up because it never happened, but the Red Wings, one of the best teams in the league when it comes to picking up a lead. Don't hit me. Picking up a lead and sitting on that lead. And they never got that. Mammoth score, less than a minute in. Looked like John Gibson was still strapping on his gear. Wasn't ready for the Jersey shot. Utah able to put some game pressure on Detroit, and then away we go. And I thought getting that early lead, getting out to that good start was so important. And then you score on the 5-on-3. And if you don't score on that 5-on-3, it becomes momentum for the other team, right? They say, okay, we got to kill. We killed off a big stretch of a 2-man advantage. Here we go. It's our turn. And it can really turn against you quickly if you don't score on that 2-man advantage, but Utah did. And then I think the rest is history, and you had enough of a cushion to survive the Red Wing push. And I thought, boy, did they push. I mean, the Wings were coming there in the third period, and you had to lean on your goalie a couple times. Still don't love the fact that we're shorthanded 4 times a game. I mean, that's gotta come down. It's okay if it happens every once in a while, but you're looking at these penalties. They're delay a game penalties, right? It's stick infractions, stuff like that. Those are the ones you gotta curtail a little bit. Mammoth have been shorthanded 4 or more times in, I think now 6 straight games. Would like to see that come down. And especially you're going up against a good power play like you were tonight against Detroit. Now the PK was good. You gave up a power play goal, but it was 6-on-4. You feel good about the PK despite that. But a good game all around. Your goalie was good. Vejmelka in fine form. And now it's time for the break. It's time for the break. So excited where this team is at. A stat we shared on the radio broadcast was 14 of the 16 teams that were in playoff positions at the Four Nations break last year then went on to make the playoffs. 14 out of 16. The only 2 that didn't were the teams in that second wild card spot. So if you're in the playoff picture at the time of the Four Nations break, at the time of the Olympic break, you're feeling pretty good about your odds to make the postseason. So a lot of teams that are winning around Utah. You think the LA Kings, they get Panarin. They add a huge weapon. They're going to be a threat, even more so than they already were. And you're still at a point in the season where if you just take care of your own business, it's going to be fine. Holy smokes! Do I not have the right of way here? Now I don't. But keep winning, keep trucking, and I heard some questions asked post game. How do you carry over momentum into the post break part of the schedule? I don't think you do. I think you go and enjoy your break. That's what we heard from Dylan Gunther, and then you have to strap back in afterwards. I keep going back to this too, and this is my last thought. The Mammoth this year without Logan Culie in the lineup, I might be a game off, but I think it's now 16, 11, and 1 without Logan Culie. And when we heard that he was going to be out long term, we're thinking, oh gosh, just stay within striking range. We didn't think, I don't know how many people thought this team without Logan Culie would be where it is, which is having as many points as the Pacific Division leaders. I don't know who thought that. But you have a winning record without Logan Culie. You hope to get him back into the lineup right when we come back from break. And, I mean, if you keep playing with this kind of pace and this kind of intensity in all 3 zones, we're going to be seeing playoff hockey in Utah for the first time. So excited for where this team is at, considering who's not in the lineup. And also just love the way that this team competes against the best teams in the National Hockey League anytime they have an opportunity. So we'll talk to you shortly here and get you a good Friday free-for-all episode tomorrow. And then throughout the break as well. But hope everybody enjoys their Thursday.
I can tell you precisely what the Mammoth are without Logan Culie. 16, 11, and 1. Going into the Olympic break, 28 straight games missed for Logan. However, Utah lost the first 3 games without him. So after that, 16, 8, and 1 are the Mammoth. And they came together. They found a way. You look at 5-on-5 play, and we've told you that Utah has some of the best 5-on-5 numbers in the league. And it's not just analytics. It's concrete facts for Utah in terms of goals for and goals against. 5-on-5, Utah, in terms of goals for in the National Hockey League, is second behind Colorado with 132. They've scored the second most 5-on-5 goals in the NHL. In terms of goals against, they're very strong defensively too. It's a Utah team that will go into the break in terms of 5-on-5 goals against in the upper echelon of the National Hockey League, allowing only 107 goals against 5-on-5, which again, that's a top 10 number for Utah. So second in goals for 5-on-5, second in goals against. So you get the special teams going, you're going to find yourself in a good spot, which they did the last 2 games. All you can do is live in the moment and be present. And for the Mammoth, they got the power play going again on Wednesday night. It's a 5-on-3 goal. It was scored by who else this week? Nick Schmaltz scoring 4 goals for the Mammoth out of their 10 scored. Gets his 23rd of the year. That's a new career high. And the Mammoth, who had not scored a power play goal in 5 straight games before Monday night, go into the break at 2 for their last 5 on the power play. Penalty kill got going too. The PK, which had allowed a power play goal in 7 of the last 9, allowing 10 goals in that stretch and scoring 2 power play goals, 7 for 8 in 2 games, allowing just a goal on the 6-on-4. And again, big part of that, Karel Vejmelka. But it's a team game. The Mammoth have one of the best goalies in the league. Numbers say it. 27 wins. Depending on what happens with Tampa Bay tonight and Andre Vasilevsky, Veggie will be no worse than tied for the most wins in the National Hockey League. So they got special teams going. And for Utah, special teams cost them. Games against Carolina, Dallas, Tampa Bay, Columbus, right? They've been able to overcome a lot of those contests because their 5-on-5 game's so strong, and lose a special teams battle hasn't mattered. But when you're playing the NHL Plus teams, Carolina, Dallas, Tampa Bay, Detroit, you got to win the special teams battle. It was even on Wednesday night. 6-on-4 is how Detroit scored. So they pulled the goalie, but I think you got to be pretty happy moving forward with that quick reset on that special teams dilemma that the Mammoth had, if you will, on the power play and the penalty kill. Just got to clear the mind, clear the head. I thought they did it Monday. I'm a big look good, feel good, play good guy. When you look good, you feel good. And same thing on the power play. They went 1 for 2 on Monday, scored 16 seconds in. It was against Vancouver's worst penalty kill in the league. Sergei just fired a shot. There wasn't a screen in front or anything. Didn't have to recover a puck. It just went in. And it doesn't usually do that, but it just went in. But they felt good about it because they liked what they did on the previous one. And okay, we're back. 1 for 2. Draw a couple penalties in the first period. Score on the 5-on-3. They're now 3 for 5 on the 5-on-3 this year. Schmaltz got that one to go for the Mammoth, as you just saw for those of you on Mammoth Plus, SEG Plus, and the Utah Mammoth YouTube page. So special teams, you're feeling better. You can't worry about what's happened in the past. You can only control what's in front of you, and Mammoth realizing, okay, might be some issues here. Figured out a way to get it going. Let's hear more. Let's get Utah head coach Andre Churnney talking about this one. And Bear was a happy camper after this game that the Mammoth were able to take by a final score of 4-1.
We challenge ourselves to say, hey, you win that game, you finish before the break in the playoff spot. You lose, you may not. So that was an important one for us. We fixed a few objectives during the season. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Olympic break, and we hit our objective so far. So the next one will be the finish line. That's the one we want to win, we want to achieve the most. But I think it's a process. We keep focusing on our game and improving our game. And I think tonight at 5-on-5 we were really solid. We didn't give much. We'll need to clean up our penalties. I don't like the numbers we take, but 5-on-5, really good game.
Mike said it. Bear said it. 5 straight games, 6 of 7 with 4 shorthanded situations or more. So, yeah, 25 games left. That's something you want to work on. Want 3 or less. But they've got that. They've got the record that they do. 30 wins, 23 losses, 4 overtime losses, 17-8-2 at home, and 8-1-1 record at home in 2026. So can feel good about themselves. We can enjoy the break. We can look at the standings, the entire break, and see the Mammoth above that playoff line in that first wild card spot. 27 of Utah's 30 wins this year have come from Karel Vejmelka, and you say, you led for 59 minutes and 3 seconds. It was 4-1. Probably not talking too much about the goalie. He made 24 saves in the final 2 periods, made 3 big saves late in the second to keep it 2-0. Again, you're up 2-0, give up a power play goal. Don't really have the momentum against a team that this year had only lost 2 one-goal games. So when they get within a goal, they usually tie it and find a way to get a result. So some big saves from Karel Vejmelka, who was playing for his uncle on Wednesday night. His uncle passed away a couple days ago, so a sad situation there for Veggie, but definitely made his uncle proud watching from above on Wednesday night.
He was a big sportman, you know. He played tennis very well for a long time, so he taught me a lot. He was a great human being, so yeah, I'm gonna miss him, and I play obviously for him tonight, so this one is for him. We did a great job, obviously. We took a couple of penalty kills, but we did a great job, and yeah, it was a big challenge for us, obviously, and it's a big win for us. I wanted to get a win tonight because it's a huge moment for everybody, for whole room here, and I think we play real well. We deserve to win.
So Karel Vejmelka, happy for him. He's such a nice, kind person. You can tell, and just keep chanting Veggie. He loves that. So Karel Vejmelka headed off to play for Team Czechia at the Olympics. Get this, folks. Team Czechia, their first game is against Team Canada. So you got Karel Vejmelka, Lukáš Dostal of Anaheim, Dan Vladar of Philly, the Czech goalies, okay? This year in the NHL, they're 65, 35, and 9, okay? The Team Canada goalies, Jordan Binnington of St. Louis, Darcy Kemper of LA, Logan Thompson of Washington, they're combined 40, 42, and 15. So we'll see on that Olympic-sized ice sheet over there, 15 feet wider for international play. Can the Canadian goalies overcome their early season numbers, and can the Czechian goalies steal one? You got David Pastrnak, Marty Necas, among others, on that Czechian team. It's pretty good group, and it's going to be a fun team to watch. So excited for that. Back to our game, though. Talked about the Mammoth scoring in the first minute of the game and never looking back. That's so huge. They did it in 2 straight games. They'd given up a goal in the first 5 minutes in 5 of their last 7 going into Monday. Score just over 3 minutes in Monday, first minute Wednesday, take it from there, lead the rest of the way. 8th time this year they've led for over 50 minutes in a game. 8th straight game where they've scored first and won and never trailed. So playing with a lead is big. We know they're great playing from behind. 9 of their first 20 wins were come from behind wins. But in January, they were able to play from ahead, and they started off 20-20-3 when 9 of their 20 wins were come from behind wins. They're 10-3-1 in their last 14. 3 of those 10 wins are come from behind wins. When Utah scores in the first 5 minutes this year, they've got a record of 9-2. So play with a lead. It's a much higher percentage brand of hockey than playing catch up, which Utah's great at playing catch up. Catch up when you have to catch up. But when you can score early and often like Utah's been doing, that's the ticket. Let's get Dylan Gunther after the contest. He's up to 25 goals, had 27 all of last year in his first full NHL season. He's on pace for 36 goals. It's only his second full NHL season, first year of an 8-year deal.
Heading into the break to get a couple of wins is makes you feel good. It lets you relax a little bit. It's not in the back of your head. So I'm just happy we got 2 wins, and it's nice to take the time. I think just all the right intentions. I mean, even if we've made mistakes, I feel like guys were trying to do the right thing. And, I mean, they're going to push one of the best teams in the league, but I thought we handled it well. Huge saves on the PK especially. It's hard for us to, I think, win without how he played. So looking forward to watching him hopefully do that for Team Czech. He's been a rock for us. I think he leads the team in wins, and just how he's able to go and perform every night because he plays a lot of games. So I think he just takes care of himself really well. And, I don't think we're in the hunt without him. So
Dylan Gunther. So everybody, heard from the guys, heard from Mike. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday edition of Mammoth Daily, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Utah Mammoth YouTube page, Mammoth Plus, and SEG Plus. Wherever you're finding us, we appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed to us, like us, share us. You'll never miss an episode if you do all that stuff. We've got one more episode before the Olympic break. It'll be tomorrow. So we'll have a Friday free-for-all. We'll have Sam Farnsworth from KSL 5. He's in Milan. We'll talk to him about the Olympics, part 2 of our series, getting ready for the Olympics. And then Mike and I will be along as needed during the Olympic break as stuff comes up. We get a mailbag that's getting fuller, we'll do a mailbag episode, but we won't be on Monday through Friday until Monday, February 23rd, after Friday's episode. So just a heads up there. But don't go anywhere because we have lots to get to on this show and on the Friday free-for-all. When we come back, Katherine Bogart from UtahMammoth.com will join us. Our latest edition of Mammoth Monthly is out wherever you're getting us. You can get Mammoth Monthly with Katherine. And this week, this month, it's all Olympics. Clayton Keller, Karel Vejmelka, Olli Maatta, JJ Peterka. We'll talk about all of them and start to send them off. And then in our third period, Bear sends the guys off. It talks about how proud he is, how they finished things off going into the break. Weren't distracted, got it done. And there's 2 other games in the Western Conference playoff race tonight that we'll tell you about. So stay tuned. Katherine from UtahMammoth.com is with us next on our Thursday expert segment here on Mammoth Daily.
Let's hear from the experts.
And we're once again joined on our Thursday expert segment by our good friend Katherine Bogart from UtahMammoth.com and Mammoth Monthly, amongst all the other content that she does, including Tusk Talk on game days. Katherine, welcome back to Mammoth Daily. How's it going?
Oh, it is great. I'm always happy to be on Mammoth Daily. I'm always happy to join you, Adrian. We always have the best conversations, both at morning skating practices and here on the pod. So I'm pumped to be back.
That's the best part about Mammoth Daily is we've been able to take all of our off-the-air fun and turn it into a podcast, as we do with you. And it's that time again. We've got another Mammoth Monthly forthcoming. We're going into the Olympics, and I know you have that covered with 4 Mammoth players representing 4 different countries.
Exactly. The main theme of this episode is Olympics. So we did sit down with Clayton Keller, Olli Maatta, Karel Vejmelka, and JJ Peterka to discuss where they were when they found out, what it means for them to be an Olympian. And we talked with all of them throughout the last few months. So now those conversations are already on our YouTube channel. They're in this month's Mammoth Monthly, and we're so pumped for everyone to be able to watch and hear, because all of these guys have dreamed about becoming Olympians their entire lives. Karel talks about how when he was playing street hockey growing up, they would always picture they were in the gold medal game of the Olympics playing street hockey. So it really means so much to these players. So we're so excited to have them all representing the Mammoth on the international stage.
And the great part about the podcast forum, Katherine, is the chances we get to talk to our players, sitting down in a recliner in a laid back fashion and a chance to get more long form. Karel Vejmelka's almost 30 years old and playing in his first Olympics. And just to see the body of work he's put together, ironically, since the last international in-season tournament, he's led the NHL in wins and minutes. And it's so fun that he gets to go now to the Olympics to represent Team Czechia. And you know how much pride he takes in his country and his homeland. And he gets to return and represent him as he's done so many times at the World Championships and other international competitions.
And it's a quick turnaround for these guys. A lot of them are flying out this weekend. They're going over to Milan. The tournament starts next week for the hockey side of things. And there's not a lot of time to catch up and get to know your teammates and the guys playing in front of you. But Karel will have the very nice benefit that a lot of this Olympic team was at the 2024 Men's World Championship, where Czechia did win gold on the home ice in Prague. So this is a great opportunity. He talks about it in the interview about how they're already familiar with each other. They already know each other. That will help. That's another benefit for Team Germany. JJ Peterka has played with a lot of his teammates, whether it was in the DEL or on the international stage at World Championships. So these countries being able to have that experience and knowing each other and know their teammates, that will be key, because there's only 3 preliminary round games in the Olympic tournament. And then you have the first play-in game of the playoff round. And then it's quarters, semis, and medal. So you really don't have a lot of time to make mistakes. You really need to know your team immediately. And Germany and Czechia will have that advantage. Of course, for Clayton Keller, who's on the USA side, he's played with a lot of those players before. He knows a lot of them. He faces a lot of them in the NHL. So that is a nice benefit for him. And he understands the way that USA Hockey wants to play and show up in these tournaments after his gold medal experience at Worlds last year. And then Olli Maatta, this is his second Olympic Winter Games. He played at the start of his career as a very young, I believe he was 18 years old with Finland then. They won bronze. So this is a great opportunity for him to take the years of experience he's amassed since they last played 12 years ago at the Winter Olympics and bring that as a solid defenseman for Finland.
With Clayton Keller, I can't think of another player who could have possibly worked harder in the last year to get that call. And, the story's so sad that he loses his father just over a month before being named to the team. But his dad saw how hard he was working, and I'm sure he was confident now as he watches overhead. Pretty certain Clayton was going to get that call to join Team USA for the Olympics, which he wanted so much.
Yeah, Clayton has always been really committed to USA Hockey, and something that he pointed out, he's always won at every level he's played. So he has a gold medal at the U18 Men's World Championship, at World Juniors, and at Men's Worlds. And he's one of the few players to have a USA gold medal at Men's Worlds. I mean, there was the first time they won gold in 92 years at that tournament. And Clayton has always been committed to USA. He's always taken a lot of pride in representing his country. He's gone to multiple Men's World Championships, even when it could have been better for him to take a couple extra weeks of summer and not be training after long seasons, but he was always committed and going. And I know that's something that USA Hockey takes they're happy when their players take pride in that. And Dylan Larkin talked about how he wants to see every NHL player who's available go over to Men's Worlds every year, and him and Clayton always do. So it's great to see that the Utah Mammoth captain is going to the Olympics. And before this was 12 years ago was the last time Olympians were in the NHL. So as a result, you'd never really know if you were going to make the Olympic team or not as an NHL player. So to make it the first year that it's back is an even bigger honor of how much he's worked and how hard he's worked and how great he's been. And he's just been a key part of this Mammoth team. So we're really excited for him. And this should be a really great moment for his family as well.
JJ Peterka just turned 24 and he's already in the top 5 in statistical categories in the NHL among Germans in terms of fastest to reach 100 assists. He's going to be playing alongside Leon Draisaitl, who's going to be a flag bearer. Big deal for Germany. Ice hockey. Not even Canada has a hockey player bearing the flag. And JJ is going to be with Leon Draisaitl, but JJ at only 24 is already an elite professional German hockey player of all time.
Yeah, he's the third skater on this Mammoth roster to hit the 20-goal threshold. So that's already a huge vote of confidence going into the Olympic tournament. JJ is just a really strong player, and his familiarity with his teammates, his German teammates, will be key for this run, especially the preliminary round. I mean, he played in the top German professional hockey league before coming to the NHL. So that says a lot about his talent, that he could play with the best of the best in his home country. And now some of his Olympic teammates, and now he's in the NHL. He's producing. He's on a top line for the Mammoths. He's just a really strong player. And for him, when we talked, he discussed about how, he dreamed about the atmosphere being at the Olympics and being in the village and going to other sports and just the whole true camaraderie of being an Olympian. So this means so much to him. And for him to make it this early in his career is absolutely incredible, especially when you think 4 years from now, he's very likely going back to his second Olympic Winter Games, and he won't even be 30 yet. So he's done so much already in his career, and he should be really proud. And where it is, it's really not far away from his hometown of Munich, and his family lives outside of Munich. So they should be going down, and it'll just be a really great opportunity for him to play in front of his family once again.
You've been to Munich with the Peterkas. Tell us about your summer trip, because you've got background and insight on JJ going to the Olympics and the proximity to his hometown and his family.
Well, it's really exciting, too, when you think about how much JJ has given back to Germany. And currently at his family home outside of Munich, they're creating a small ice sheet that players can play on during the summer months, because he grew up having to go to Czechia or other countries for a weekend just to be able to get some ice time in the summer, because there just wasn't a lot in Germany. So he took it upon himself to make a one-zone rink at his family's house that will be available for the community to use. He'll train there in the off season. So, I mean, talk about a guy who wants to grow the sport. So we actually, when we went for his Break the Ice episode, which is available on YouTube if fans want to watch it, we saw the rink. We saw the progress of it. It should be ready this summer, but we saw, the frame of it and the structure of it, and it was coming along well. And his dad oversees the project. Dennis is amazing, and so is his mom, Natalie. They're both two of the nicest, most welcoming people ever. So it was really nice to get to know the Peterkas, and they're so proud of him, and he's so proud to be German and to be playing on the international stage and helping grow the game back in Germany. And I mean, that's all you can ask out of your players, to give back. And I think that's something that we see with the Mammoth players all the time here in Utah. They're constantly in the community. They're giving back. They're excited to engage with the fan base. They're excited to engage with Utah as a whole. And it's really cool to also see that they do it back in their home countries and in their hometowns, and they want to grow the game for everyone. So very exciting for the Peterka family. And yeah, definitely go check out Break the Ice if you haven't watched it yet, because it was a really fun episode to kick off this season.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And our latest fun with the fans was this week at the youth hockey party. Liam O'Brien, Kevin Stenland, and I know some other guys were in the building, and they were on the ice, and it was such a blast. I saw a viral moment, Katherine. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I saw a viral tweet. I believe it was from Spittin' Chicklets. A young fan went up to Liam O'Brien with some constructive feedback on Evander Kane.
I have not seen this. I will go on Twitter. I have yet to go on much today, except for some of the trade news that's been going on, not only in the NHL, but in the NBA too. So I keep getting sent tweets to my cell phone, and I'm like, okay. And I click on it. I read, some of the comments, but I have been trying to be very productive with my day today. So I have not gone on social media that much, but I'll check it out for you, Adrian.
Yes. If you don't get to it today, when you're on the beach during the Olympic break and you're scrolling, search it and find it. It's fun. Olli Mata, the fourth player that's going to be in the Olympics, is doing it for the second time, as we said. And there's only a dozen or so NHL players that are going to the Olympics for a second time. And for the Mammoth, with, our left shot D, Sergachev, Cole, Schmidt, and the right side guys have been great. Ollie's been great this year. You can only dress 18 guys in an NHL game.
Yeah. And you actually get a couple more for the Olympics, which is a fun fact. If you want to know more about how everything happens at the Olympic tournament, we will have a primer on the Winter Olympics on our website on Thursday. So go check it out there. I have a link to where the rules are because things are slightly different with the Olympic Winter Games and the format. But this is a really great opportunity for Ole. He's worked so hard. He's always one of the first guys out there and one of the last guys off the ice. And he brings so much love and passion to this game. And something that really stood out for me was he talked a lot about Four Nations face-off when we were discussing the Olympics. And he said, that was such incredible hockey. It was some of the best hockey I've played. It was some of the most fun I've had. And that was only with 4 teams. So imagine now this tournament at the Olympics is 12. So this will be a really exciting best on best tournament, first time in 12 years. So Mata's excited. And, it's one thing to go to the Olympic Winter Games at the start of your career and, you're so excited, but it's just you're absorbing so much. But now when you're at the second half of your career, and Mata, of course, has plenty of time to go, but, he's experienced more in his career. He's had years in the NHL. He's won Stanley Cups. So this is a really cool moment for him to add another really strong chapter to his already extensive resume. And he's a phenomenal defenseman. He's a really steady guy. That's what, Coach Churnney will always say. He's really steady. He's really predictable. He's really solid with the puck. And that's what makes him such a great asset, especially for the Finns, who are always a really strong contender at these international tournaments. And I don't think they get enough respect for their name. I think Finland's always one of the top competitors. People maybe put a lot of hype around USA and Canada. I get it. We're in North America, so of course they do. But Finland has really shown up strong on all levels, both men's and women's, over the past 10 years. So it's going to be really exciting to see how they do in this Olympic tournament.
Can't wait to watch. Katherine, Mammoth Monthly coming up. You'll have the Olympics covered. Your monthly visit with Nick Olchek.
Yes.
Wherever you get your podcasts, just like us here on Mammoth Daily. Never miss Mammoth Monthly. If you're with us Monday through Friday, you can check it out on the weekend. You can check it out all month long. We're not going to be here Monday through Friday during the Olympics, so there's an alternative for you. Katherine, thanks as always for joining us. Enjoy your Olympic break and can't wait for Mammoth Monthly and some more stories coming up.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I cannot wait to catch up on some of the Mammoth Daily on my flight overseas. So I cannot wait, but thank you for having me as always.
Cole Beaudoin joined us yesterday. So if you hadn't caught that one yet, check it out. Katherine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Mammoth Daily.
Always great to have Katherine from Mammoth Monthly and UtahMammoth.com, all of her other great content pieces joining us here on Mammoth Daily. Make sure you check out Monthly again. Wherever you get us, you find Mammoth Monthly with Katherine. Well, head coach Andre Churnney, to continue our Olympic theme, was really, really proud of the way that his Olympians went into the break, finished strong, easy to get distracted, easy to look ahead, easy to start thinking about being over in Milan. But again, businesslike, his guys were. Here's Bear on his Olympians, starting with Karel Vejmelka.
I think he's been on a good stretch. Played a lot of hockey. He's going at the Olympics. Happy for him. Happy for you never know how those guys who's going at the Olympics after will be able to stay in the present. And I will say the three who played, they were rock solid today. JJ was really good. Kels was really good. And Veg was really good. So I'm proud of them. And our team needed it.
So head coach Andre Churnney sending his guys off. All right, 7 games in the NHL tonight. There's 3 of them you can keep an eye on. Florida, Tampa Bay. If Tampa Bay does not win, Karel Vejmelka will go into the Olympic break in sole possession, the NHL lead with 27 wins. If Andre Vasilevsky's in net and Tampa Bay does win, he'll be tied with Vasilevsky for the team or the NHL lead in wins. So you got that. And then 2 games in the playoff race. Utah holds a 4-point lead over Los Angeles, who's the first team out right now, and a 5-point lead over Nashville, who's the second to last team right now. San Jose's lost 3 straight. They're 6 points in back of the Mammoth, 5 points in back of Anaheim, who enters Thursday in that second wildcard spot. So, as we said, LA's 4 points in back of Utah. Mammoth do have the tiebreaker. So essentially 5 points is what it would take to overtake Utah. But, 25 games left for the Mammoths, just need to win. But if you're looking for something to watch tonight, LA at Vegas, root for Vegas. Nashville is at Washington, root for Ovi and the Caps. Why wouldn't you? Folks, thanks for joining us on another fun edition of Mammoth Daily. One more before the Olympic break tomorrow. Mike is back with me for the full episode on the Friday free-for-all. Some good local hockey stuff to hit. We told you Sam Farnsworth will be with us from KSL 5, and we'll unpack, give you any more loose ends that we come up with after a successful short week for the Mammoth, going into the break, outscoring their opposition 10-3, getting their 30th win of the year, and holding that essentially 5-point lead above LA in that Western Conference playoff race.